Oh, we're live. Hi, guys. You weren't meant to see that. Ha! Be with you in a minute. Oh, we're live again. Hi, folks. Didn't mean to do that. Apparently, pressing buttons works. Hey, the microphone works. If you guys are watching right now, hi. Nice of you to be with us. We'll be with you shortly. We're not officially starting the show yet. We're still having some real technical difficulties. As you can see, we're having technical difficulties. So we're going to just keep popping in and say hi. We may start in the next 10 minutes, maybe not. Yay.
Both of our favorite teams are 6-1. The Indiana Pacers start basketball tonight. Sorry, both of our teams have just one loss. But the NFL just keeps getting crazier. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Toxic Couch TV, the Week 8 edition to be exact. My name is Alex Blackwood. This is my buddy Colton Heinrich. And oh my goodness, the NFL just keeps getting more and more and more exciting every single week. Yep. It has been a true pleasure watching it and being with you for that time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Our teams are humming right now. Honestly, I'm in a pretty happy spot. Very frustrated with the Packers a little bit because they could definitely be doing better. And we've got some trade rumors circulating. Obviously, big matchup this week. You doubted your Colts last week against the Chargers.
I absolutely did. I was worried about what we were going to do on defense. There was a lot of injuries that we're dealing with right now. It certainly helped that we had Kenny Moore back in the slot on the defense. So they actually played pretty well. It wasn't the most consistent playing well on the defensive side, but it looked pretty good overall. There were some Chargers players. Justin Herbert stood out. The rookie Gadsden, the tight end for the Chargers, played very, very well.
Oh, sorry. I was making sure we had audio. It wasn't registering on my end.
Oh, no.
We're fine.
Anyway, there are some offensive players that stood out very well. At the end of the day, the Colts offense is just absolutely unstoppable right now. They are averaging the most points per drive since the greatest show on turf, those 2000 St. Louis Rams team. And what I'm seeing from this offense is the play calls are literally 5 plays. Hand off to Jonathan Taylor. Hand off to Jonathan Taylor. Hand off to Jonathan Taylor, but to the outside. Throw to Tyler Warren, and throw to Josh Downs for the first down. Those are the 5 plays that the Colts are using right now, and Shane Steichen has done such a great job of simplifying this game plan for Daniel Jones and making him play absolutely flawless.
Yeah, honestly, I told you that after week 2. I said that flawless and conservative play calling is going to be the Colts' best friend, and Shane Steichen looked fantastic with that play calling. I mean, I'm genuinely impressed that you guys have made it this far. I was going to do like a whole recorded thing. I didn't have time to do it because I'm just busy all the time. But I was going to like do a dramatic look at the camera. Colts fans, I'm sorry. You deserve an apology. At this point in the season, when I did my preseason predictions, I had you 1-6, not 6-1. Dear Indiana, I'm sorry. I wasn't familiar with your game. Indiana seems to be having a great year. Is it in memory of Jim Irsay, or is it just because this team is that good?
I don't know. I think we have a system figured out. Shane Steichen finally found a guy that will listen to him and actually simplify the game plan for him, while Anthony just kind of, no offense to him, but it kind of looked like he was doing his own thing.
I would definitely put it that way.
Not that it was necessarily a bad thing either, because he was good in a lot of clutch situations for us. I think at the end of the day, Daniel Jones just looks like the better fit for the team right now.
Honestly, I would like to say this when it comes to Anthony Richardson. He has all of the talent in the world. And you and I got to see him play twice last year in person. All the talent in the stinking world. But he just can't seem to put it together with his personality. And honestly, the Colts took a huge chance just by even going after him in the draft. He just is plagued with injury. And now he's got that eye injury that he almost lost his eye during pregame. What was that about? I mean, dude, genuinely, Anthony Richardson, just not the future. We can always hope that he maybe has a future somewhere else. But, Daniel Jones has got your team humming. That's for sure.
Now, Colton, I talked about last week how Jacoby Brissett could definitely be the starter for this Cardinals team.
Yeah.
And he looked like a quality starter against the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I mean, he of course did. Now, the Packers defense also showed up and showed out in a lot of ways. It was more of our offensive struggles. Our secondary has a lot of issues. I'm not going to lie. I'm really worried. Keyshawn Nixon does a great job as cornerback 1, but all of our other cornerbacks really just are not succeeding the way that I wanted them to be this season. I'm struggling with a lot of, like, we have a lot of great play calls. And Matt LaFleur has proven that he can be explosive, but he doesn't. And that frustrates me, and I think it frustrates all us Packer fans. It's hard for me to fathom that we have all of this talent around and we can't seem to get any offensive play going to the same extent that we did like against Dallas, you know? So Packers, frustrating. You know, we are still doing fine, not where I would like the team to be currently. That's just personal opinion, but you never know, right?
So back in 19, when the Packers were looking for a head coach, I remember hearing that someone with imaginative play calling.
Right.
Do you think LaFleur fits that description?
That's a tough question. Man, hey, hard hitting today. No. Yes, but no. Yes, but no. The thing is that you're going to hear this when I talk about the Packers a lot. Potential. Absolutely. LaFleur has the potential and has shown flashes that they can do it. He has shown that he can do it. He's shown flashes of being a great head coach in this league. I mean, all of the stats from his first few years show that. But man, just the potential thing, it just isn't getting put together. That's why I'm so torn on whether Matt LaFleur is a great coach or just a good coach. He's so close, and he says it every single week in his press conferences. He's like, this team is so close to being where we want them to be, but they're not where we are. I'm close to where I want to be, but I'm not where I should be. This Packers team has the ability to get over the hump and to be really good, but it seems the only person and the only team who can beat the Packers are the Packers right now. That's what's killing me.
Do you think that the Packers will continue to beat themselves in situations?
I don't know. Still the youngest team in the league. That's tough. I stinking love the Packers, you know, and I love what we've been able to accomplish. I love what we've been able to work on. I just can't. See, this is tough. I yes and no. I would really love for them to figure it out. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
So with that, we move to our most important game that we started playing starting last week, known as Overreaction or Not.
Yes,
so
sir.
If you remember last week, Colton and I were actually able to see each other's reactions. That will not be the case this time. We came up with reactions of our own that we did not share with each other until this very moment right here.
That's correct.
So, who wants to go first?
You know what? I'll shoot one from the hip here just to start, okay?
All right.
It is time to start Quinn Ewers and move on from Tua despite the contract issues.
They already did start him. Tua was benched in that Week 7 game against the Cleveland Browns, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is not an overreaction. And actually, by the end of the year, I think the Dolphins need to be one of the top contenders to draft a QB because this is actually a really, really deep QB draft class. But I see nothing going for the Dolphins this year.
Right.
I don't think anybody does. There are lots of rumors that there's a fire sale going on in Miami right now, and they have a lot of players that they could get value for with a fire sale. So I don't think this is an overreaction at all. I think it's best if you get the young guy at least some kind of reps, see if he can be a long-term backup for a first-round rookie next year.
Yeah, of course. Can you imagine Arch Manning goes and they have both of those boys from Texas? That'd be hilarious. Definitely won't happen, but just entertaining ideas. So yeah, I definitely don't think that it's an overreaction. People are saying that Miami is stuck with Tua. I don't think that they are. I think that they just are in a really unfortunate position where they've got all this money that they paid him. They overpaid him too quickly. They've got issues down there.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about another QB that I think needs to be benched. This is actually my next reaction. The QB that needs to be benched alongside Tua is Geno Smith.
Actually, I have that on too. So this was what I said. I said it's time to move on from Geno Smith and stop pretending he's good. That is what I said. Brutal, but I don't think it's an overreaction. I think Geno has that one good season underneath his belt, but there are a lot of quarterbacks in this league that you can say that for. Definitely, I don't think that he's the answer for the Raiders. I think Tom Brady and the crew out there who's running the organization probably know that, but that's where I sit. Yeah, definitely not an overreaction for me.
So the Raiders do have quarterbacks that have upside. Kenny Pickett could actually be a really good backup for him, and I think he deserves a shot.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that.
Kenny Pickett can bring so much, and he's a really good scheme fit with how the Raiders receivers play as well. So I'm actually going to agree with you. This is not an overreaction at all.
Agreed.
I don't think this Raiders team is getting anywhere with Geno Smith at the QB position. I think it's time to move on with an experiment that was attempted, and it seemed reasonable to attempt, but ended up failing.
Yep. Agreed. Okay, here's my next one. And I know you're not going to agree with this. The Giants are a good team, and they're on their way to great.
On their way to great, I agree with. Great right now? No, not in a million years. That is an overreaction to so many levels. The defense, this defense gave up 33 in the fourth quarter. They look good when they start out, but they have to finish on the road. Like I was when they were up 19-0. I was looking at my game picks for this week, and I'm like, holy cow, they're going to sweep Philly. Mm-hmm. I can't trust them on the road, especially in Philly. This is a huge overreaction, if you ask me.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think it is an overreaction. Here's why. Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo, Brian Daboll, they're humming out there.
They're humming.
Russ is firing shots, and he's the backup quarterback. He's firing shots at Sean Payton on Twitter right now. Come on, dude. They have a complete culture shift almost overnight, it feels like. Mm-hmm. I think that they are already great. They beat Philly. They almost beat this Broncos team. Their defense is severely underrated. They are also without their number one offensive weapon, Malik Neighbors. Mm-hmm. Give me the Giants every single game this season, at least to make it close. And I think that they are a sneaky playoff contender this year.
Hey, that's your opinion, man. Mm-hmm. My next one is Patrick Mahomes is the MVP through 7 games.
He's definitely putting it together, that's for sure. I think that that's probably an overreaction, given where we are right now with the current MVP race. Yes, the sports bettors are 100% on Patrick Mahomes' side, but there are so many great quarterbacks and a running back thrown in there, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Jonathan Taylor, who I believe is doing a fantastic job. And by the end of the year, we're halfway through the season at this point, pretty much. I think give it another 4 or 5 weeks, and you're going to know pretty quickly who's going to lead. But we could also wind up with a Lamar and Josh Allen situation last year where there's 2 really good candidates.
I'm going to agree with you and say this is an overreaction, and for all the same reasons. I just think the QB award is totally up in the air right now. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen has been good, needs to stay consistent. Heck, Jonathan Taylor has been good enough as a running back. Yeah. I think he could easily get it. 3 hat tricks so far this year.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely
for
crazy. This MVP position is just wide open.
Absolutely.
Right now.
All right, so I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are better than they have ever, and I said ever in all exclamation marks, been and are Super Bowl bound.
That is an overreaction. We've seen them play better football still 3 years ago. Not saying that they won't make it back, but this team, even as hot as they are right now, would never beat the team that they fielded in 2022.
I am going to say that this is not an overreaction. I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs, under the direction of Andy Reid, have now finally got all of their weapons back. Hollywood Brown humming. Rashid Rice comes back. Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, all catching balls. Patrick Mahomes is out there having fun. Unlike the past 2 seasons or the first 3 games where he struggled to get that underneath him because he was making the conservative plays that we're not used to from him. But that's because that's what he had to do to win. He didn't have the talent around him. The offensive line looks great. Genuinely, this defense too, severely underrated defense. I believe that this Kansas City Chiefs team is actually better than they have ever been.
I'm going to disagree with you on the defensive side. The defense, granted, looks great. Still not better than the 2022 team. The moment they traded Tyreek and started investing in that defense. Mm-hmm. I can't trust the 4-3 Chiefs right now up against that 2022 squad.
Understandable.
My next reaction is Jalen Hurts has the best deep ball in the NFL.
That's an overreaction. I think that there are a few quarterbacks that I would throw in contention for that. Number 1, Jordan Love, gorgeous deep ball. I'm just saying it as a biased Packer fan, but it's true. Jordan has a gorgeous deep ball. Matt LaFleur's not letting him use it. We talked about that in the beginning of the show. Drake May also has a gorgeous deep ball. We were talking about MVP candidates. Drake May's on that list as a sophomore in this league. Blackwood. I mean, come on, guys. This is simple for me. No, he does not. Jalen does a lot of great things. A lot of great things. The deep ball is not something that I ever say that is Jalen Hurts' entire ordeal. You know, I definitely think he's a dual threat quarterback. He can use his legs. He can also hit the timed passes, but he can also hit the deep ball. But I don't think the deep ball is who Jalen Hurts is, you know?
I would say this is an overreaction, but this is the first time this season that we really saw Jalen Hurts whip out the deep ball to all these different receivers, and he has just looked absolutely flawless. His deep ball this season is better than Josh Allen for sure. Drake May, I argue it would be better than Drake May's right now too. Even Patrick Mahomes, it looks totally amazing, and I wish I had clips ready for you guys, but in double coverage too, able to lead people like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith had the longest play of his career this past Sunday. Oh my goodness. This Eagles team is just getting started.
I would like to agree with that take, but I am still worried with this offense and their struggles so far this season. All right, let's see. Let me pick a good one here. The Broncos' defense is overhyped. In fact, the whole team is.
This is a massive overreaction. You do not believe. You need to believe
I do not
in this
believe.
Broncos team.
I do not believe. I think the Broncos are Boad.
This team managed to come back down 19 against the super hyped up Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, who everyone thought no one had a chance against. You're forgetting that this team also has the Defensive Player of the Year through the first 7 games in Nick Bonito. Him by himself is taking this Broncos team to new elevations and is doing everything he can for this Broncos team right now. On the offensive side, they're starting to click. Guys like Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims even starting to get a bunch of receptions, getting that catch and run. This Broncos team just looks absolutely excellent right now on all these sides of the ball. This is, you said the Broncos don't look good. That is an overreaction. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I think the fact that they almost lost to this very young team in the Giants, that's quite embarrassing. You won, but at what cost? You would have tied if it weren't for the missed field goal and the miscues on the Giants. Okay, young team, they get the excuse. This now veteran team that had high expectations going into the season, this is not an overreaction for me. This is spot on. I think that the Broncos are overhyped. I think that they are not to be believed in, not to be believed in as much as people are saying. This defense has the ability to make big plays. They have the ability to be explosive. The offense has the ability to be explosive, but they are not living to the potential. And right now, their record is showing it.
They are 5-2 right now.
Once again.
And leading the AFC West.
I stand by what I said.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm just going to give my next reaction, which is the Carolina Panthers are going to the playoffs.
That's an overreaction. They're not quite there yet. They remind me actually a lot about the Bears team last year and this year. I think that they are putting it together. They're definitely going to get there. Not this year. Panthers fans, I'm sorry. That's an overreaction.
I'm going to agree with you, not because I don't think the Panthers don't have the potential, but because the injuries are starting to pile up. Mm-hmm. You got Bryce Young out. You got Chuba Hubbard on, off, healthy. The defense starting to take some injuries, but, and it's going to show, I think, against the Bills this week. Mm-hmm. I really hope that they can get healthy, but right now, it's a no for me.
Yeah, definitely not. Not yet. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go with my last one before you get into your last one. Let's see. Justin Fields is not a problem, but the result of bad programs and bad ownership.
Here's what I'm going to say. There are parts of that I agree with and parts of that I do not. So, I think that the Jets are a dumpster fire of an organization right now. I'm not going to coddle it at all. That's what they are right now.
Same old Jets.
But I think Justin Fields is playing into that right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I don't think that he's the problem. I think that he's the result of the culture around him.
I believe he is a problem. Not the problem, but a problem with his extremely, extremely ridiculously conservative play. Will not ever take risks, and just he doesn't let his guys perform, doesn't allow for proper play.
But he had the opposite issue in Chicago where he was too much of a overly taking chance quarterback. And honestly, I think him in Pittsburgh last year was the marrying of where he wanted to be. And now you see this as somebody who has been run through the ringer. This is a result of what you do to these quarterbacks, the NFL specifically. This is what they do to these quarterbacks. They force them in before it's their time. They put expectations on them, and then they burn out. That is the reason why we don't have the Drew Brees, the Brett Favre, the Tom Brady, the Aaron Rodgers anymore, because we're afraid to sit these guys.
Okay, so I have so many left. I have like 10 to 12 more, so I gotta pick one that I really, really want to do. And in this one, I am going to pick the Indianapolis Colts have the best offense in the NFL and will go to the Super Bowl.
Overreaction, but not by much. Here's why. Fantastic offense, fantastic play calling. It reminds me a lot of, actually, believe it or not, it reminds me a lot of the Patriots back when they went on their dynasty run. You never looked at the Patriots and said, hey, this is the most talented, this is the most amazing, these are the best players in the NFL. You never looked at them and said that. You said, this is a scrappy team who knows how to get it done, who's coached well, who has a good scheme. That's how I equate the Colts right now. Conservatively good.
I'm going to say that they have undoubtedly the best offense in the NFL, but going to the Super Bowl is an overreaction for me. And here's why. History. Straight history. You look at teams like the 2007 Patriots, 2013 Broncos, 2001 Rams. None of those teams ever won it all. Like defense has to really show up, and if the Colts can get healthy on the defensive side, they can absolutely make a run. But for now, it's a no for me.
All right, so that will conclude our show in terms of overreaction or not. Join us again next week because we're going to do the same thing, hopefully with hotter takes. All right, into our weekly stories. What a week it's been for stories. Left and right, just they seem to be popping up.
Yeah, and we have to start with a truly tragic one here. We got to talk about the passing of Doug Martin. What a great player he was when he was on the field with the Bucks, with the Raiders. He was one of my favorite running backs to watch back when I was like 10, 11, 12, 2015, 2016. Absolutely great at what he did. It's really sad for me to see him go. I actually have his rookie card. I could go up into my bedroom right now and look for it, but I got a show to talk about here.
Yeah, so Doug Martin passed away after a struggle with police and suffering a seizure. More details are still coming out. We don't know much of what's going on in terms of the exact details, but we do know that he was with police during the time of his passing out in California. We pray for his family, we pray for his loved ones, we pray for the organizations that he was with, and just our thoughts go out to him and his family.
With that, we say our prayers, and it makes me really sad. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans clearinghouse. They have just released Tyler Lockett as requested by him, and you got to think, is this the start of the Titans fully clearing house?
I don't understand why you would fully clear house when you're just getting started with Cam Ward. The firing of Callahan made sense to me, but that's about it. I would like them to keep going because, gosh darn it, how long can you be in a rebuild if you're an NFL team?
I've talked about this before. I don't even agree with the Callahan fire. You've got to keep all these guys together so that Cam Ward can develop. I understand trading a few guys just to get that draft capital for Cam Ward long term, but you can't just get rid of absolutely everybody like this. Mm-hmm. It's just you gotta keep them together for at least a little bit while Cam Ward develops. Where do you think Tyler Lockett will go next?
There are a lot of teams who need the wide receiver help. I do think he'll probably wind up being a Steeler.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep, that's my opinion. I think he'll wind up being a Steeler. I think he fits best with that offense.
I've heard people say Green Bay. How do you feel?
Why? We have so much depth. There's so much depth. There's no reason for him to come out to us. Yeah, our depth is injured right now, but Matthew Golden led the team in receptions last week. He will continue this week. I have no doubt.
Christian Watson coming back.
Yeah, Christian Watson could be back this week. Not official, but it's definitely rumored.
I was told he was cleared.
It is a feel thing, says Matt LaFleur. Okay. As of right before recording this. Also, Boba is in the chat and just said hello. I don't know if we would like to take a side. Hi, Boba.
Hi, Boba.
Hi, Boba. We miss you. We should just start bringing you over. No, we can't. Never mind. We'll record over there at some other point.
Yeah, some point. Mm-hmm. But anyway, next up we got ourselves another hot seat update featuring Mike McDaniel. I am hearing reports that Mike McDaniel's outing on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns was his last chance. And they ended up losing that game 31-6.
And has he been fired yet?
No, when he should have been.
I don't think so. I think Mike McDaniel's not the problem. I think that it's 100% Tua and his struggles, and you're definitely seeing that right now with Tua's play. He has one of the highest interception rates in the NFL in his entire career, so let's just leave it at that. The Dolphins organization will not be parting ways with Mike McDaniel this season unless something drastic happens. Those are all of the major reports that are coming out.
Contrary to what Miami Dolphins fans are begging for right
same
now.
Old Miami at this point.
Well, yeah, but they really need to make some changes. Brandon Graham unretired. Brandon Graham just rejoined the Philadelphia Eagles after retiring, walking away a winner, and rejoined the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, well, because why not? After Zadarius Smith left, there you go. Welcome back. See ya when we play ya.
What does this addition contribute to the Philadelphia depth?
Great depth, but he's a day one starter. As soon as he comes back, he might be on a snap count, but he's definitely starting.
Yeah, I can't help but agree, but this defense just looks unstoppable now. We got one more headline for you guys, and that is another edition of the injury bug. Mike Evans is out for the season with a broken collarbone.
As soon as he came back from IR, rest up, buddy. You're doing great things for the NFL. Your 1,000-yard streak may have been snapped, but only by your collarbone being snapped. So hang in there.
And I am so sorry, Colton. I know I said this is my last headline, but we had a couple more that we had just put in last second. The first being Logan Wilson, Cincinnati Bengals linebacker and captain, has officially requested a trade away from this defense.
Yeah.
You know what I see in Logan Wilson? I see Logan Wilson with the horseshoe on his helmet, reuniting with Lou Anarumo and repping that blue and white, baby. Colts fans have been desperate for Chris Ballard to go out and make a move for a linebacker. They have already signed Jermaine Pratt, who was also a former Bengal and also played for Lou Anarumo. But wouldn't that be cool to reunite him with Logan Wilson and the rest of this defense that has a need at linebacker?
Yeah, of course. If the Colts have a need for it, go for it. That's my view.
We got one more headline tonight. And now, Colton, the Indiana Pacers start basketball tonight for
That's
the
correct.
first game this season at home against the Oklahoma City Thunder. However, can we even confirm that the games are for real anymore? And that includes the NBA and the NFL after what's been going on.
So if any of you guys have been paying attention in the news, if you haven't, we're here to break it for you. Kash Patel, the FBI director, came out this morning, and there were 5 arrests, maybe 6, of high-caliber individuals, and then there were 30-plus other arrests made for a mafia, gambling, and rigging scandal. A head coach in the NBA and players in the NBA have both been arrested and are awaiting trial and have arraignments coming up.
The head coach is Chauncey Billups of the Portland Trailblazers, who is a former NBA Finals MVP.
Yeah, so I do not pay attention to the NBA enough, but I do pay attention to this. If Kash Patel and the FBI are looking into sports and rigging by gambling, right now this is all alleged stuff, but I would definitely think if the FBI is involved and on this big of a scale, they're gonna go out and prosecute them to the full extent of the law. What we're hearing is it's going to be serious jail time, and they're pretty confident on what they've got. They have said, this is from the FBI, they say that they are looking into the fairness of entertainment and sports for the integrity of the American people. That is what they've said. Now, this is where we're not an NBA show, but we're going to talk about this in an NFL context. What does this mean for the NFL?
So, I've been around people that know criminal justice and are lawyers. And one common theory among the people is, that they're in entertainment business, which means that they are allowed to rig the games. That is not true.
That is not how that works. Not when there's big money involved either.
Here's why. Each NFL team or any sports league team is its own entity.
That's correct.
So you can't go out and intentionally do something dirty. The refs cannot intentionally do your team dirty. And if they do find out, there can absolutely be some cause of investigation.
Well, so this is where I'm going to bring up what has been happening with the NBA. The rigging has come through mafia scandals. When was the last time you heard the mafia in the news? We had the mafia who were paying and gambling for these players. And basically what the FBI is calling it is insider trading. Here's my thought. And I think that we should entertain this idea because it's been in the... Wherever there's smoke, there's fire, right? We don't want to admit that the games we love are rigged, right? At least not on a large scale. For the NBA, it's not been on a large scale. But those specific players and coaches getting involved, I mean, that's enough to turn a tide of an entire season. So, here's my thought. You get the mafia to pay for 1, 2, or 3 referees. There you go. Just rigged the entire NFL and the outcomes of games for sports betting. And if you watch the money, most of the time, the money tends to land wherever the refs call, which is a really frustrating thing. So hopefully this is a greater thing for entertainment. It's a greater thing for sports. I think this is a very bipartisan thing. We don't talk about politics on the show, and we're not going to continue. We're never going to talk politics on this show. But this is something that is good for sports, period. If they are going to go out and they are going to look in this is a good thing for sports. Yeah. Especially for our love of football.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely a great thing for sports. And I even watching the NBA playoffs last year, I saw a whole bunch of different things on my screen that made me think, yeah, there's no way this league is not rigged in any shape or form.
Right. The NBA gets a lot more of the allegations of being rigged than the NFL ever will, but the NFL gets its fair share.
The MLB gets its fair share as well, Absolutely. But the reality is umpiring is so darn difficult, and you're never going to get every single call in a single game right.
Absolutely. I'm with you there.
So that concludes our headlines for this week, and we now go to another news segment on our show that we have called This Sucks! So basically what we're going to be talking about on This Sucks is Colton and I are going to each have a turn. We are just going to sit and rant about something for a few minutes. We figured that since there's not really enough toxicity on this show for being called Toxic Couch, we thought this was a good way to, implement it.
It's hard. You and I are so positive people, and we've branded ourselves as the Toxic Couch, but we sit here and we smile our way through the entire day. So, we're the worst people to be called toxic in the entire world. But here is my rant. The Lambeau Leap. Where has it been? It feels like it's been forever since I've seen a Lambeau Leap. Now, I would have done a different rant on NFL and officiating, but Micah Parsons got a holding call this week, so they get a break. Where's the Lambeau Leap been? Matt LaFleur has said that he does not like the Lambeau Leap. He doesn't like the risk that it puts players on. It's a tradition. We have a whole statue outside of Lambeau. Where's the Lambeau Leap? It's iconic. And I put one of the most iconic Packer players possibly to ever live, Tucker Kraft. He's going to go down in history. Now, where is it? Why have I not seen a Lambeau Leap? Now, I get it. We haven't been home much. But gosh darn it. Where's the Lambeau Leap? If you're capable of doing it, which I'm fat and not a great athlete, but gosh darn it. Get up there. Do the leap. We've got people paying $2,000 for tickets in the front row just to touch one of your beautiful faces, Green Bay. Show up. Leap for the people. Please. Please, I'm begging you.
That's a lot. That was a lot shorter rant than I was kind of expecting. But yeah, I guess it's my turn for a rant. I'm going to rant on Dre Greenlaw getting completely injustice. Now, I don't know the full situation, but that's also the NFL's fault for not having fully communicated the situation. So I'm still going to go on this rant because it is still valid for that reason. So if you were watching the game between the Giants and Broncos on Sunday, you would notice that the Broncos kicker made a field goal to end the game and win by a point, 33-32. So after the game, the Broncos were celebrating and on the field, and the refs got a little bit into it. So what he decides to do is just straight up shove one of the guys. And Broncos defender Dre Greenlaw sees that and doesn't even get in the ref's face, but calls him out for that behavior and that absolutely ridiculous stunt he just pulled. So the NFL looks at this footage that they got, and they blame Dre Greenlaw for the entire thing and made up something that, he got verbally threatened by Dre Greenlaw. Okay, if he got verbally threatened, what did he say? What did he say? You're not communicating that part with us. This is absolutely ridiculous. And then they decide to suspend him for a game without telling us what he actually did to deserve it. So now me and Colton here, among a whole bunch of other fans, mainly Bronco fans, are just sitting in confusion as to what actually warranted such a suspension. Now, he could have said something that actually warranted it, but I don't know that. And again, the NFL isn't communicating what specifically was said. So this is why I believe that it is just absolutely ridiculous, and the NFL is just throwing out suspensions and fines like crazy, and I'm starting to think it's just for a big buck. It's just, I don't know what's going through Dre Greenlaw's head right now. I don't know. Maybe he apologized. I don't know. I don't know what he actually said again, but until I hear that he actually said something that was actually bad, I am going to be very, very angry about this and believe that he got injustice for it. Yeah. That's my rant.
Fantastic. That's a fun segment. I liked that.
Well, yeah, that was pretty fun. I was actually having kind of a bad day up until now, so I needed to vent about something, I guess.
Too many donuts in one day will do that to you.
I only had 2, dude.
I also only had 2. Wait,
you said you had 4.
No, Caleb had 4.
Oh,
Caleb had 4, not me.
Okay. We don't need to be dropping random names on here. With that being said, thanks for tuning in to This Sucks.
This Sucks.
And we now go into our Toxic Couch Weekly Awards for Week 7. And we start with our MVP this week. About his glorious deep ball. And that man's name is Jalen Hurts, who went 19 for 23 with over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Has the Eagles in a bounce back situation. It's like the Eagles never sucked in the first place.
But they did. But that's fine. Yeah, Jalen looks great. 3 tuds. That's a hat trick. 333 yards. The game of 3 for him. Eagles are currently 5-2. Humming right now. 19 for 23. Wow. Yeah, definitely a great game for Jalen. They're back to where we thought the offense should be.
Sadly, not a hat trick because those touchdowns didn't technically come from scrimmage, but this is still a great performance. Definitely the best by a QB this week.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to move on to our coach of the week, who managed to get a victory in what is basically the Jacksonville Jaguars' home field these days, and that is the man on the Los Angeles Rams by the name of Sean McVay. This as looks absolutely excellent, has his whole tenure with the Rams, and this team has just really, really put it together. And I'm really proud of them, and I'm really excited for them.
You know you're a good coach when they say that you have a whole coaching tree to come from you, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, of course, we love it. We love it.
This remind you, this is the only coach to have beaten the current best team in the league, the Indianapolis Colts.
That's correct.
Now, granted, the Colts had some points washed away, but the Rams still managed to get it done in clutch time in that game, and definitely in this week. So, yeah, McVay is easily coach of the week.
Easily.
Moving on to offensive player of the week, I have guys that I could have picked. We had multiple running backs with hat tricks. I ultimately went with Mr. Franchise record in receptions with 16, 161 yards and a touchdown, Mr. White Bengal Jamar Chase.
You know the face that Joe Flacco made on Thursday? Oh my gosh, he dropped it! Oh! I mean, yeah, fantastic game for Jamar. I was playing him in fantasy this week. Still won, but still had to play him. My goodness.
Every player drops themselves sometimes. Besides that one drop, though, this was absolutely dominant performance all around.
Yeah, for sure.
It was just absolutely excellent. And me and Colton were watching him just absolutely tear apart the Steelers team.
He balled out.
He single-handedly could have been the one reason that they won, given the Bengals let another 30 bomb come on them.
If I were Jalen Ramsey, after what Jamar Chase did to me, I would retire.
Yeah.
I would go away.
Yeah.
I would never let anybody see me ever again, because that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
That was so embarrassing.
Yeah. Moving on to our defensive player of the week.
I'm transitioning it.
It is, in fact, Mr. Micah Parsons. He had 5 tackles, 4 TFLs, 3 sacks. I could have totally rage baited you and put Calavon Chase on.
Hey, I'm the one who runs the show in terms of what graphics go on the board, so I would have made it myself.
Calavon had 2 sacks and a scoop and score.
I don't care. Micah didn't get credited for the sack that he was supposed to. He should have had 3.5. They probably called it a QB pressure and a QB hit. He should have had 3.5 sacks. A career high sacks, by the way. That's big number 1 out there. And you didn't mention on the stinking graphic, he had 1 holding call this week called against him.
I don't want to count for holding calls on these stats.
When Micah gets one, we should count it, especially on a career day.
I suppose.
I've never looked at Micah's tattoo before. That is sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that.
Can we move on to our offensive rookie of the week?
Yes.
We're going to shout out, actually, one of the guys that had a hat trick this week. The other was Jonathan Taylor. JT, baby. But with 25 carries, 84 yards, and, yes, a hat trick, we're giving it to Quinshon Cleveland Browns.
Killed it this week. Looked fantastic against the Dolphins.
Ever since his debut in Week 3, he's been looking flawless, and I can't believe I didn't start him in fantasy this week.
Brutal. But you already won in fantasy in one of the best matchups I've ever seen, but yes.
Yeah. But regardless, Quinshon just looked amazing.
Agreed.
And with that, last but not least, we're going to our defensive player of the week. Rookie of the week, excuse me.
There you go.
And that is Nick Scourton of the Carolina Panthers. Had a sack and a half and a TFL against a New York Jets offense that is struggling. Actually, one of the hot takes that I had to pass on, in overreaction or not, was the Jets have the worst offense in the NFL.
Oh, that's brutal.
When they're getting exposed by good guys like Nick Scourton is going to expose you and make you consider what you are doing on offense and say, hey, what's going on with our scheme? I think this guy actually has higher upside with the Panthers team, and guys like this are going to make this Panthers defense take it to the next level.
Amaya just texted me and said I have a stain on my jersey. She's watching live right now. You know it's my good luck charm, baby. Why?
Oh, man. So
we're having fun.
We are having fun. So those were our awards for this week. And now we move over to Colton, who is going to give us our power rankings for this week.
Absolutely. Let's get this. So, this week, no shocker here. Indianapolis Colts roar into number 1 after being number 3 last week. Well deserved. They are 6-1 right now. Packers, after a win in Cincy, stay at number 2. Lions move up from 4 and move into the 3 slot. Buccaneers fall from 1 down to 4. Chiefs move up from 8. Nice job, Chiefs.
I am so sorry.
No,
I totally interrupted.
I was just going to go over the top 8, but we're chilling.
So the Chiefs, right? So you were talking about in your hot takes that this Chiefs team looks better than they ever have before, even the 2022 team. Mm-hmm. With that logic, why aren't they number 1?
Because right now their record doesn't show it. They've got to keep going. Power rankings are not a reflection of who has the best team or who has the most potential. It's just where we are right now going into week 8.
Very, very, very wise words. You say you have the Seahawks at 6, the Rams at 7, the 49ers at 8. Those 3 NFC West teams I really think are just interchangeable right now.
I disagree, actually. I think the Seahawks are the best team out of that bunch. I think the Rams definitely could get the edge, but it's not been 100% proven yet with their 2 losses, especially that one to the Niners. And you say, well, Colton, why'd you put the Niners below them? Injuries, guys. Come on. You can't play with a hospital team and keep winning. Somehow, some way, Kyle Shanahan has continued to do it. Is Brock Purdy done out there? Is it possibly the Mac Jones show? You know, they're living the what could have been. we'll find out as the season goes on. Let's move on into the 9 and 10 slot. Eagles and Bills, after some trials and tribulations in these first 6 weeks that nobody really expected, they come in those spots.
Eagles had a bounce back win. Bills had a bye. These teams really shouldn't have issues finding their way back up.
Absolutely. Steelers drop after losing to the Bengals, because if Jamar Chase embarrasses you like that, you deserve to drop at least 8 spots. The Patriots roar into 12, and the Bears roar into 13. Jaguars drop to 14. Falcons are on the come up right now, despite the loss.
So the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I know you didn't have them the highest as of now, but you were talking a lot about Drake May before.
One of my hot takes that I didn't get to share is Drake May is a future Hall of Fame quarterback. He's playing as good as any quarterback in the entire NFL right now.
I don't know that we've seen enough out of it to say the Hall of Fame, but he's definitely on the right track.
Correct. Okay, so let's keep going here. Falcons, despite the loss, move up. Broncos move exactly in the same direction where they were, because they were 16 last week too. We're gonna keep them there until they keep proving something to me, because it's my power rankings. Chargers stay where they are. Giants move up to 18. Panthers move up to 19. Cardinals move up to 20. Jacoby Brissett looks like he could have that team so close to being a winning team. They just haven't put it together yet.
And this is a good week for them to be able to regroup as well.
Absolutely. Cowboys at 21, Texans at 22, Commanders 23. They look embarrassing. Let's just put it that way. Vikings 24, not great. Figure out your quarterback situation, Vikings.
I'm sorry. I can't see the Giants above any of those 19 through 24 teams.
You can't, but on the list it says they're above them. So though you can't see it, doesn't mean that the list isn't right in front of your face. That's what we decided. What I decided. It was not a group decision. Mm-hmm. I'm super high on this Giants team. They're going to probably make their way into top 15 come pretty quickly here if they keep playing the way that they have. On film, they've looked fantastic. Offense, defense, other than the 2 misfires. When you've got a team like the Broncos who has more experience, expect them to do exactly what they did. Giants fans, hang in there. Commanders, like I said, not great. Let's go to 25 with the Bengals. We've got the Bengals at 25. They looked great with Joe Flacco. Almost as good as they can with Joe Burrow. Joe Flacco even had a read option where he took it out of the pocket. All right, Joe, we see you.
Here's a hot take. I think that if this Bengals defense kind of starts to figure it out, because there's still time for them to this season, you could see them in the playoffs still, even without Joe Burrow having contributed much.
Yeah, of course. So let's talk about the Ravens, who are now below the Bengals. They stink this year, and I don't plan on that changing. They'll lose to the Bears this week, guaranteed.
Now, Lamar Jackson does come back this week. Just remember.
It won't matter. So let's move on to the Browns. So we've got a whole bunch of AFC North friends just sitting there at 25, 26, 27. Saints below the Browns, Raiders below the Saints, Titans below the Raiders, Dolphins and Jets, shocker, round out the bottom.
Don't really see any debate for the bottom 5. I think that's perfect the way it is right now. I don't see any of these teams doing anything for the rest of the year at least. Maybe next year one of them will surprise us. I don't see it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Colton's power rankings, and with that, we get into our game for week 8. And before we get into those, we actually have 6 teams that are on bye that we can discuss and what they're possibly regrouping about. The first of those teams is the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Jacoby Brissett did look great in these past 2 weeks. Is this week a quarterback competition in practice?
You never know with the NFL teams. They're going to come out and say Kyler's their guy until proven otherwise. Stick with it that way.
The Detroit Lions are also on a bye this week. They looked absolutely great on Monday night against the Bucks. This team has so much upside and reminded the world why. They're going to be great. They're going to take a week off. and they're just going to be great for the rest of the year, no doubt about it. The Jaguars and Rams, after having played in London, each get a bye week this week to back to their home in the U.S. The Rams, they look good. I don't see them having many issues for the rest of this season. The Jaguars have to regroup, like right now, because something is going wrong, and they gotta figure out what's going on in Duval. The Raiders are on bye, but I don't see them doing anything much this year anyway. The Seahawks are also on a bye. They also looked very good, and they have so much upside. So those teams on bye. And with that, we start with our Thursday night game between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Diego Chargers this week. They're bringing back navy blue supercharger uniforms, and they look absolutely excellent.
Yeah, they're going to be way better than the last one they showed off against the Colts. Holy crap, those stunk. All right, Blackwood, I'm going to be honest with you. This is actually one of the first times that before we've recorded this, the game's not going. So give me the San Diego Chargers on the bounce back from the Colts.
Really? Care to explain what's up with that?
They're not terrible. They're just bad. The injuries, but I have no faith in the Vikings. And with my dearest beloved wife, who is currently watching the show right now, I know if I picked the Vikings, she would be going absolutely bonkers right now.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there with an explanation, but I am actually going to agree with you and say that it is the Chargers game all week this week. I think their defense should bounce back. I'm still not fully in on Carson Wentz just yet. I am going to take the Chargers in this one here.
All right.
So, starting with our CBS early segment, we have the Chicago Bears and the Baltimore Ravens, which Colton already said Lamar isn't doing anything even though he's coming back.
Give me the Bears all day.
Bears all day, just like that. I'm going to go with the Ravens for the upset.
I don't think that's an upset. They should have been good all season.
Well, now it is. But with Lamar Jackson coming back, this team is hungry and cannot afford to lose many more games.
I'm hungry.
I know. I'm very hungry too. We'll have food later, dude. Trust me. Anyway, this team is hungry and they need the wins right now. I can't imagine a world where John Harbaugh and healthy for most of the season Lamar Jackson would miss the playoffs this season. And the road to the playoffs starts right here. Give me the Baltimore Ravens.
All right. Moving on to our next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons hosting the Miami Dolphins. Alex?
This is Falcons all day. I mean, I still don't know whether or not the Falcons are an actually good team yet, but I do know that they are better than the Dolphins team that needs to clean house right now. And that really should be firing their coach and benching their quarterback because this team is getting absolutely nowhere where they currently are right now. So give me the Falcons.
All right. Yeah, I'm with you.
Next, we have the New York Jets taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is not a tough choice here. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think the Jets are going to get it going anytime. Jamar Chase coming off of a career game. No shot. Bengals all day.
It seems like the Bengals offense is finally kind of starting to find their groove after just 2 games with Joe Flacco at the helm. And the Jets, I think, have yet to do that with them, with 7 games under their belt and the same quarterback that whole time. So, give me the Bengals. Moving on to the Fox side of things, we got the New York Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me the New York Giants. Cam Scattaboo did it 2 weeks ago. He's going to do it again. Giants all day.
You already heard me say I can't trust this team going on the road. Yes, they looked good against the Eagles 2 weeks ago, but I can't see them doing it again after the all-time collapse that they just dealt with last week. I gotta take the Philadelphia Eagles here.
All right. Moving on.
Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Houston Texans.
This is another game that's not close for me. Give me the Niners. The Texans don't look like they've got anything together in terms of offense. Their defense still looks like it's struggling. This is going to be another game that Houston is not going to win, especially against a top 10 team like San Fran.
I do believe that this is San Fran victory. I think it'll be closer than you think, though. I think C.J. Stroud is at least good enough to keep games close, and their defense is going to contribute to that too. But at the end of the day, I just don't see the Texans getting the job done. Give me the Niners.
All right.
Now we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the New England Patriots.
Super Bowl bound New England Patriots. I think that the dynasty could be reignited with Drake May and the crew that they've got out there. So it's not happening yet, but it's on the way. So give me the New England Patriots.
Yeah, Drake May looks absolutely incredible. And Dylan Gabriel has shown good glimpses too. But I have to go with the Patriots here. No real competition for me on that one.
All right.
And finally, for the early window, we have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Carolina Panthers, who are wearing their black alternate helmets on Sunday.
Yeah, despite this being in Carolina, Buffalo has seen too many trials this season to not come out on top this week. If they lose another one, especially to a team like Carolina, we need to be having a different conversation about the Bills, especially coming off of a bye as well. Give me the Bills here.
For the Panthers, this one's possible. Actually, more possible than people think. At the end of the day, I am going to take the safe pick with the Bills, but somehow the Panthers play better when they're banged up. We saw when Chuba Hubbard got hurt, and then Rico Dowdle went absolutely ballistic. And we could see the same thing from Andy Dalton after the injury to Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go with the safe pick and take the Bills, but they're on upset watch. For sure here. All right, to start the late window, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the New Orleans Saints.
This isn't close. You've got a top 4 team facing a bottom 4 team. I don't have to keep explaining myself about this Buccaneers team. Buccaneers win by 1,000.
Spencer Rattler can make the game close, but at the end of the day, Baker is going to be clutch again. I can't see them losing back-to-back games. Give me the Bucs. On the CBS Prime game this week, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the throwback Denver Broncos.
Give me the Dallas Cowboys this week against the Denver Broncos. Their high-powered offense, Dak is playing MVP caliber football. Give me this offense. I don't care about this Broncos defense. I don't think they've got what it takes to keep up with Dallas in their offense. It's going to be a shootout. I do believe Dallas's defense will get it done.
Well, buddy, I'm going to tell you one more time. You need to believe, baby.
I don't believe.
You have to believe, buddy.
I don't.
This team just looks absolutely excellent in all phases of the game. This team managed to upset the Eagles. This team is just absolutely great in every single way. This team is red hot, too. Give me the Broncos over the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't believe. Alex, I just don't. I don't believe yet.
Well, that's your opinion.
Let's talk about a game that you need to believe in because, gosh darn it, I have seen you pick against your Colts now twice and lose both times in our pick'em. Quit betting against the Colts, man. You guys are a good team. Are you going to do it again against the Titans at home in Lucas?
Yeah, so this week we are hosting the Tennessee Titans, and this very well could be a trap game. Not saying the Titans are any good or have any real superiority to us in any sort of play on the field, but if the Colts would let their guard down at any point of the season, this is when it would be. I don't think that they're going to, but at the end of the day, I am going to take them because it's the safe pick.
Understandable.
I love this team, and I love everything about them, what they've been able to do so far, and I am going to take them this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with the Colts all the way here. That shouldn't be any surprise after what I've picked them almost every single week after week 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And this is one that we need to talk about. Sunday Night Football, our toxic couch game of the week between the whiteout Green Bay Packers and the throwback Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. So let's talk about this game a little bit. Number one, I had this whole thing planned, so I'm going to say it. There is no animosity between any of us Packer fans, and if there is, grow up. And Aaron Rodgers, he won us a Super Bowl. Once again, I am so nostalgic. Aaron, you have been playing since I was 2 years old for this Green Bay Packers team. I believe in you. I love you. I'm so thankful for everything you've done for this state, for this team. So we appreciate you. And I will never, ever, ever badmouth Aaron Rodgers ever. That being said, this is going to be a great week. This is a great week. I've had it circled. I'm so excited. Sunday Night Football underneath the lights. Here's a little fact, though. Packers have not beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh since the 1960s with Bart Starr.
So who are you taking here?
This is tough for me. I love the Steelers. Grandpa, shout out to you. Huge Steelers fan from Pittsburgh. I mean, just genuinely, I love the Steelers. I love what they're doing. I think that they have the issues. Honestly, it's kind of what I've lived as a Packer fan my entire life. They're just kind of our sister on the other side of the aisle of the NFL. I will not be taking the Pittsburgh Steelers because I don't think that they have the talent to keep up with this young Green Bay Packers team. They can certainly try. But by all means, though, this is going to be a close game. Packers have sucked, for all intensive purposes, when they've been on the road this season. They have, despite the winning record, they have struggled while playing on the road. If this game was back in Lambeau, I'm 100% give me the Packers. I do think this is a 2-3 point game. I do think it'll be a shootout. I think you should expect 25-30 points from each team.
So, Colton, you mentioned at the beginning of our show today the play calling from Matt LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, I would assume, still knows that playbook very, very, very well.
I'm going to actually contradict you on that. LaFleur's playbook while Rodgers was there was based off of Rodgers and his strengths.
Mm-hmm.
LaFleur has now changed that to Jordan Love and his strengths and Matt LaFleur's strengths. Aaron was never Matt's quarterback. Yeah. Jordan is. That's the difference here. For all intensive purposes, Aaron Rodgers might as well have been the head coach of that football team.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be a schematic thing. Two great coaches going up against each other. Definitely a future Hall of Famer in Mike Tomlin. A huge respect for the Steelers. This is going to be a fun game. No matter who wins, I will be happy. I will miss Aaron Rodgers' snap count after he's gone. Once he's done in the NFL, genuinely, my heart, I'm so excited for this game. And if the Packers do take the L, it is what it is. But I'm very happy for this game.
I'm actually going to agree with you and take the Packers here. I do understand that this is a completely different playbook now, and I don't know if Aaron Rodgers and that defense is going to be really ready for it. I think the Packers are just going to catch the Steelers a little bit off guard. I have yet to see anything real impressive from this Steelers defense thus far.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take Green Bay here.
Yep, for sure. All right, rounding it out with Monday night, and it's not a doubleheader this week.
Yeah!
Yes. Not staying up till midnight this week. Thank goodness. I'm all for that.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs here. I have not been impressed with Washington's defense whatsoever. It's just been absolutely ridiculous to watch. I feel like my eyes are bleeding every time I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I have to take the Chiefs here. You will probably see Patrick Mahomes on the MVP graphic of Toxic Couch next week.
Yeah, honestly, and Jaden Daniels is out. Marcus Mariota is not going to do crap against this Chiefs defense. No shot. Yeah, give me the Chiefs this week.
I feel like Marcus Mariota could still get his fair share of highlight plays against the Chiefs, but at the end of the day, I still gotta take the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Well, those were our picks this week, and with that concludes our show for Week 8.
That's pretty incredible. We are already This is our 7th week of doing this. Holy crap, it has flown by. We're halfway through the NFL season. My goodness, Alex, it's been a phenomenal season. And honestly, I'm so excited for the future of Toxic Couch and Toxic Couch TV. There's a lot of stuff moving behind the scenes right now. A lot of big things that you guys are going to get to hear about coming in the next few weeks. I hope that you guys are just as excited as we are. We were talking all night last night basically about how excited we are for what is coming up. This is going to be a really, really big deal for us. So we appreciate you guys for following along.
Yeah, we certainly enjoy you guys sticking around and watching us as we get a little rowdy sometimes. But at the end of the day, this is nothing but fun for us. We hope it's nothing but fun for you guys. We have a lot of fun at what we do here, and it's just been amazing, and we want to thank you guys for your support.
Yeah. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like and subscribe because we would really greatly appreciate it. We need to get to 50 subscribers so that we can just upload it straight to YouTube, and that would be ideal for us because as fun as Twitch is, we don't want to stay over here forever. If you're on Twitch right now, just ignore what I just badmouthed about Twitch. Subscribe over here too and follow us and keep coming back every week. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I mean, genuinely, like, this has been so much fun.
I want to thank my best friend here, Colton Heinrich. My name is Alex Blackwood. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Bye.